Hey, what's going on everybody? In today's video we're going to be looking at Fallout 76. Specifically Fallout 76 on Game Pass for PC. For those of you that don't know, Bethesda just released Fallout 76 on Game Pass, which is Microsoft's subscription service. It's similar, it's the closest thing we have to a Netflix for games. It's a great deal. I feel like Game Pass is probably the closest Fallout 76 will probably go for free to play. So, I have been holding off on Fallout 76 myself for a long time now. I played the beta, I pre ordered it, got rid of it before the game came out because I just didn't like what I saw. I'm not big into multiplayer games, but I love the Fallout franchise, as I'm sure a lot of people feel this way now. Uh, so I'm not big into multiplayer games, but I thought I'd give Fallout 76 a try since it was on Game Pass. I already have Game Pass Ultimate. So, what is Fallout 76 with the new Wastelanders DLC? Is it worth it? And it's kind of complicated. I mean, I feel like so far I've enjoyed a lot of moments of it, especially when I first started playing it. I guess not many people knew it was free with Game Pass, and the servers were completely dead. So could walk around and explore and enjoy the game, and it kind of felt like a normal single player Fallout game, which was great. I enjoyed that part of it a lot. But then the way quests are structured and stuff like that, the multiplayer aspect really shoves itself in there. And unfortunately, because, the servers are more or less dead, nobody's really participating in the events that happen. So if you do an event, you're basically on your own. You don't really have to worry about intervention from other people, but at the same time, you don't. Everybody just kind of leaves each other alone, from what I can tell. I've been playing for quite a few hours into it. I think I've reached almost level 20 now, and I've not had a single encounter with another player where we fought. Never had any reason to, but the it, the game is very much structured for you to interact with other players, to play with other players, like the vending machines that you can set up at your camps and your bases. Um, it very much encourages you to trade with other players and stuff, and that's what I was kind of hoping. I remember when I first heard about it being multiplayer, my idea was I was going to go down to Camden Park, which was kind of a personal thing for me because I actually used to go to Camden Park as a kid all the time. So I was really excited with it being in West Virginia. And so I was going to set up a store down in Camden Park and sell stuff. Well, the problem with the game is like, anytime I approach another player's store, there's really nothing in there I want. Most of the stuff that you need, you can get from just doing quests and stuff. And most of the stuff that players are going to sell to you is going to be junk they don't want. So that means that the same thing applies to you. You're only going to be selling junk you don't want. So it just means that the trading aspect is just junk. It's very unfortunate, but there's no appeal for the trading, no real appeal for player versus player combat, and if you want that, you have the Battle Royale mode, which I'm a little upset about because it's one of the things that Bethesda, in the announcement of Fallout 76, promised that they would never do. They would never do a Battle Royale mode, and of course they went and did it. Just like they would never create microtransactions that affects gameplay, but they've done that too. Now, the microtransactions, I haven't participated in any of them. They have a lot of free stuff that they give away every now and then, but it's all like cosmetic stuff. just stuff you can build in your camp that's not really much better or worse. But then you have like your scrap packs and your repair kits. I could definitely see somebody buying repair kits because I have trouble keeping my stuff repaired all the time, and it seems like the resources that you want to get a hold of are hard to find. Stuff like gears and adhesive, stuff that you use to build turrets or modify weapons and armor, which is something that you actually want to do. And it doesn't feel like Fallout 4 where like you go to certain places and you loot everything. The loot just seems a little more scarce, and it doesn't have any real rhyme or reason where to find it. There was a moment that I really enjoyed, and that was a moment I was playing, and it was the first time I came across a super mutant. And it brought me back to playing Fallout 3, which was my favorite in the franchise, where I didn't know what was out there in the wasteland. I felt kind of scared, like I got put on defense, put in survival mode. Fighting this first super mutant was hard. It didn't go down easy. And it made me cautious about just wandering around. I'm not some badass. I'm just a normal person trying to survive in the wasteland. And I really enjoyed that. I feel like Fallout 3 conveyed kind of a similar image in the beginning of the game, you know. You had to be careful. I remember in Fallout 3 running across a Deathclaw just randomly next to that grocery store in the beginning of the game. And Deathclaws were terrifying. Especially if you'd never seen one before, if you hadn't played any of the previous games or knew what a Deathclaw was, and then just one starts running towards you. It was crazy. And then that's created this like great sense of accomplishment when you actually defeat the Deathclaw, or when I defeated the first super mutant. It provided a sense of accomplishment we don't really get in a lot of the games. I remember Fallout 4. You get bored of it after a while. You get so good at, your skills are so good. You got all these unique weapons that you don't even have a use for. And the enemies, even if they are scaled, they don't concern you. You know how to deal with all the enemies. Nothing surprising, nothing scares you. And that was something I really enjoyed. But on the downside, the game just feels kind of pointless. With the Wastelanders DLC, expansion or whatever you would call it, with Wastelanders, it actually adds some quests that feel really interesting, and I haven't gotten through all of them, but I'm worried. I'm afraid to finish the Wastelander stuff because I feel like it's the most interesting part of the game by far. Like, it's the only part of the game I'm really enjoying. The main gameplay, the nuclear codes and the building a camp and stuff, and doing all these little side quests that pop up at every location you go to, and all these like events that just pop up on the map for everybody to be involved with. They're all boring. They're all pointless. Nobody really participates in them as a group. I don't have any friends that also play through PC Game Pass, so it just feels like the whole game, the whole purpose of the game is pointless. There's no fun in it. It's just boring, tedious task. And the Wasteland stuff is actually interesting. It actually has skill checks and dialogue checks and stuff. And that's the stuff I want to do, so I'm afraid to actually finish them. Because if I finish them, I'm afraid that's going to be it. There's not going to be any more gameplay that I want. So, I'm trying to get into the rest of the game, but I just can't. I just don't find it interesting, and I just find myself wishing that I was playing a single-player Fallout. And another thing, I'm playing on a pretty good computer that I just got, and Everything's optimized and everything, and the game looks good. I actually like the way the game looks. I think it looks like a good, updated Fallout experience. That being said, the gameplay itself, the combat, is kind of shoddy. When I was talking about the fighting that super mutant, anytime I fire my gun, it's like a delayed effect. Like, the guns feel good, they have weight to them, and it doesn't feel like. All the enemies kind of feel like bullet sponges, which I guess a super mutant should feel that way, but the Scorch, the like feral bandits that they've created for this, they take way too much damage. I don't know. I guess I've gotten used to games where like enemies take realistic damage, where like if you headshot an enemy they die, stuff like that. Unarmored enemies that can't take like 5 headshots before you take them down. But it just kind of takes you out of the experience quite a bit. And like I was saying, there's like a delay. Like, I'll fire my gun and it'll take a while before it shows the impact, which is really jarring because, like, I'll shoot my gun and I'll be like, I know I got him in the head. I had to have got him in the head. And then they'll, like, fire back at me and act like nothing happened. And then, like, a few noticeable seconds later, they'll just go pulling back like they just got hit. And I'm like, good grief, how slow are the bullets going in this gun? And it's kind of ridiculous. It's a little janky. It's definitely not something that should be in a modern game. Like, I'm not a big online person, but I would think that if I was playing like a first-person shooter online MMO style thing, that the reactivity, the lag, and all that stuff, that should be like the number one priority. And it seems like it does it even with melee weapons. It's just like I'll swing a melee weapon, it'll hit them, and then they'll be like 5 seconds later, it'll be like, oh, you hit me. So you can kill somebody and then waste like a couple rounds of ammo, which is hard to find, trying to kill them even more because they're not dropping and they're already dead. They just haven't realized it yet. It's insane, really. So, there's good, there's bad. I think Fallout 76 is definitely a better game than when it launched. But I'm speaking as a Fallout fan. I would never pay money for this. I don't think the experience is anything that I would feel like buying a microtransaction for. I wouldn't pay the $60 or whatever it is on sale. If it wasn't on Game Pass, I probably would have never gotten it. And even playing it on Game Pass, I really have no interest. I would much rather buy a new single player experience for $60 and enjoy that than to play this mess for free. And I think that says a lot. I think it's probably gotten a little overblown how much hate it's gotten, but it's a little bit justified. I mean, this is the Fallout that's supposed to hold off Fallout fans until Fallout 5, which, considering the lineup Bethesda has right now, who knows when that's going to be. I know I'm not getting any younger. Fallout 5, I might be 50 years old by the time I get to play that. I don't know if I'm going to be into playing Fallout when I'm 50. So, by then, everybody will have forgotten about how much we hate microtransactions, and it'll probably look just like this. That's what really gets at people, I guess. This is Fallout now, This is what Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, this is what this has become. And this is what has to tide us over until we get another one, which we might not see, anytime soon. So, I think that's what's so aggravating about it is, what if we never see a Fallout 5? It's very possible. Game studios go under all the time, and Bethesda has definitely been changing over the past few years, so who knows if they'll even see it as worth investing their time into. It definitely has the Fallout flavor, and I won't mock at that, but the simple fact of the matter is it's not, if you're not playing with friends, you don't have people to play with, it's not worth playing. It's not a good single player experience. It's not fun to play by yourself, and nobody really in the world really wants to interact with you. If you have friends that like Fallout, maybe you want to buy it on sale or something. But if you're a single player classic Fallout fan, or even a new age Fallout fan, it's not worth your time. You're better off, playing Outer Worlds or something. But that's about it. I would say if you have friends to play with, maybe check it out. Get Game Pass. It's a great deal. You'll be able to play it on PC and play with your friends. And you might have a much better experience. I think there's a lot there to enjoy with a group of people. But playing it by yourself, don't waste your money. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time, not worth your money. You're better off playing something else. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.